Set in a far-off time in China, the film recounts the narrative of expert Li Mu Bai, a cultivated fighter and military craftsman. His blade, the Green Fate, is prestigious for its effortlessness and prevalence in a battle. Be that as it may, Mu Bai wishes to abandon the methods of the hero him and asks his companion, Yu Shulin, to take the sword and present it as a gift to their companion, Sir Te. Mu Bai makes sense that the blade holds such a large number of recollections of the past, and he wishes to resign in harmony. Shulin is a talented fighter like Mu Bai and harbors affection for him, which he responds to but doesn't follow up on because of the way that Shulin was bereaved by Mu Bai's closest companion. At his domain, Sir Te acknowledges the fabulous gift and places it in a beautiful case. Shulin likewise meets Jen, the little girl of a Manchurian lead representative, who is set for an organized marriage. Regardless of her childhood, Jen is curious and appears to be desirous of Shulin's status as a free champion. That evening, a hoodlum wearing dark slips into Sir Te's review and takes the green predetermination. Caution is raised and the criminal is pursued over roofs, sought after by Shulin, the two of them exhibiting high ability in Wadang procedure. The two participate in battle, however the cheat figures out how to get away. Shulin has some inclinations about who the cheat might have been and educates Mu Bai concerning the burglary when he shows up at Sir Te's bequest. Shocked at his appearance, Shulin is regardless appreciative for his assistance. It is inferred that Mu Bai's expectations were to be near Shulin. With the assistance of Bo, Sir Te's worker, Mu Bai and Shulin quietly examine the robbery and find that it began inside lead representative Yu's compound and that, in all honesty, the scandalous criminal, Jade Fox, is hanging out there. Mu Bai realizes Fox well. She was the admirer of his lord who tried to gain Wadang from him. At the point when he would not show her due to her status as a lady, she killed him and escaped. Bo meets a covert cop and his little girl, Mei, who have been following Jade Fox. Overseer Tsai makes sense of that his significant other was killed by Fox, who currently remains unnoticed without really trying as Jen Yu's tutor. While them three are talking during the day, Mei and her dad honing their weapons, a dart is shot into their quarters with a message connected to it. Jade Fox moves them to a standoff that evening. That evening, they conceal in the shadows of a patio, weapons prepared, until they see a limping elderly person crossing the yard. They order that she uncover herself and Jade Fox stands straight, offending them and shaking her own weapons. The four battle, with Bo frequently disrupting the general flow as he is certainly not a talented warrior. Sai and his girl appear to be nearly routed when Mu Bai shows up and draws in Jade Fox. His assault is redirected, nonetheless, by the cheat in dark. Fox tends to her as her disciple, sure now that the fight is won. Mu Bai draws in the cheat alone while Sai and the others battle Fox, 3-1. The hoodlum battles Mu Bai with his own green predetermination, however he is intrigued with her abilities and energy. Sai, in the meantime, is overwhelmed by Fox and is killed while Bo is deadened with a tie-impeding assault. Make reads the deficiency of her dad as Fox and the criminal escape. The following day, Jen is told by Shulin that a battle happened the prior night with Jade Fox and that a secret cop was killed. Jen is impacted by this information and it is uncovered that she is a hoodlum and dart who took the Green Fate. Culpability ridden, she chooses to return the blade that evening, however is captured by Mu Bai, who offers to turn into her educator in Wadang. Jen furiously dismisses his deal and leaves. Back at the lead representative's compound, Jen goes up against Fox about killing the cop and expels her from her quarters. A crook is seen scaling the roofs and staying away from the watchmen set out for the lead representative. He slips into Jen's quarters and it is quickly shown that they know one another. Lo requests that Jen leave away with him to the desert and a flashback uncovers how they initially met. Crossing the desert in a band, Jen watches the constant scene next to her mom, holding a white hairbrush. Out of nowhere, the troop is gone after by a gathering of criminals. Jen's mom blacks out while she watches. A young fellow on a pony, Lo, shows up and grabs the brush from Jen's hand. Enraged, Jen passes on the well-being of her mentor and starts to battle the scoundrels. Lo, intrigued with her expertise and outrage, drives her riding a horse into the desert, goading her with the brush. They stop for water, however Jen keeps on battling until she takes Lo out and falls from the intensity. At the point when she awakens, she ends up in an enormous cavern where Lo obviously resides. He permits her to wash herself and tells her that he will sing so she generally knows where he is. As he is cooking outside, Jen hits him over the head with a pot prior to getting away from riding a horse. In any case, the desert is tremendous and soon the pony bites the dust and Jen forges ahead with foot until she implodes. She gets up some time later, restricted and back in the cavern. Lo had found her and tied her up so she was unable to hit him once more. Yet, over the long run, they become hopelessly enamored and Lo takes her to a settlement in the mountains. They notice somewhere far off that Jen's family is attempting to find her, and Lo persuades her to get back to them, saying that he would do likewise for a missing little girl. He recounts her the narrative of a man who moved to the highest point of a mountain where it was reputed that, on the off chance that you made a wish and leaped off the mountain, your desire would work out. He wanted for his wiped-out family to be well once more and leaped off. His desire worked out, and, in light of the fact that his heart was unadulterated, he didn't kick the bucket. Jen and Lo share a close second before she leaves, giving him her brush. Back in the present, Jen will not leave with Lo. Devastated, he gives her back her brush prior to leaving. It's reasonable she is disturbed also. The following day after the wedding service, Lo intrudes on the guard that is conveying Jen wearing her wedding outfit. He yells at her, beseeching her to return to the desert with him. He gets away from the watchman, however is cornered by Mubai and Shulin. Mubai thinks, right away, that Lo is with Jade Fox, yet Shulin sees his guiltlessness and takes him with him elsewhere. Lo lets them know that Jen has a place with him, and Shulin answers that winding up dead will be no real way to show his adoration. He should pause and they will see what they can do. Lo hesitantly concurs. Once more, later on, the green predetermination is missing, alongside Jen, who has obviously taken off. She is seen going out and about wearing unpretentious garments. At the point when she snatches the wrist of a server, requesting that her cup be cleaned, she draws the consideration of several hooligans who brag about their solidarity and battling skills. Jen shows a fast and innocuous showcase of her abilities with the green fate, which induces the hooligans to inquire as to whether she knows Li Mubai. She answers that he is her crushed adversary. Word spreads around the hotel of Jen's obscure person, and a considerable lot of the supporters figure she should left, or they will battle her. Enraged, Jen releases her fierceness on the motel, leaving its majority wrecked. Mubai and Shulin show up before long and learn of the battle. Shulin takes home at a close-by Wadang sanctuary, just to be joined not long after by Jen, who warmly calls her sister, referring to their fellowship. They talk, however, issues in regards to the wedding and Jen's choice to take off outrage her, and she starts to battle Shulin. The battle closes when Jen wounds Shulin and Mubai shows up, hollering that Jen has no privilege to employ the green fate. Jen gets away from the sanctuary to a bamboo woodland, trailed by Mubai. After a short pursuit, they stop at the edge of a little cascade where Mubai can briefly break Jen's close-to-home hindrances, contacting her carefully on the temple. He communicates his desire to prepare her once more. It is confounded and obstinate to detect that she consents to prepare with him, provided that he can take the green fate from her in under a couple of moves. Mubai does as such effortlessly, and Jen shouts her dissatisfaction. Mubai doesn't completely accept that she really wants the green predetermination and throws it over the falls. Jen jumps off the falls and plunges after the blade. Before Mubai can respond, Jade Fox plunges in and diverts Jen's oblivious body. She takes Jen to her safe house in the slopes and advises her to rest, and covertly puts solid, smoking spices in a container prior to leaving. Jen stirs some time later, shocked, and staggers to an overwhelmed part of the cavern where water is falling. She drinks a portion of the water prior to seeing Mubai entering the cavern. He has followed them. Jen coincidentally finds his arms, and he returns her to her bed, thumping the spice container away. He resuscitates her and asks where Jade Fox is. Unexpectedly, Fox shows up, shouting, and shoots a whirlwind of noxious points towards them. Mubai figures out how to redirect them with his sword. He draws in Fox's sword to sword and at last shreds her edge, sending the shards through her body, mortally injuring her. In her withering breath, she calls Jen an underhanded prostitute and tells Mubai that he will kick the bucket very much like his lord. Mubai finds that one of the thorns has hit his neck. Jade Fox passes on as Shulin shows up. Jen, humble, says that she knows the antitoxin to the toxin, however that it will require investment to plan. She leaves and Shulin stays with Mubai as he ponders to slow the impacts of the toxic substance. Notwithstanding, before Jen can return, Mubai surrenders in Shulin's arms, claiming his adoration for her. Jen shows up back at the cavern with the antitoxin, however finds she's past the point of no return. She bows before a vindictive Shulin, who just advises her to meet with Lo, who is sitting tight for her in the mountains. Jen proceeds to be brought together with Lo, however she is troubled. He tracks down her gone one morning and finds her glancing out over the side of the mountain. She inquires as to whether he recollects the narrative of the man on the mountain that he told her quite a while in the past, and advises him to make a wish. He wishes to get back to the desert, and Jen leaps off, falling effortlessly through the fog. Lo cries quietly as Jen vanishes, a serene look all over,